What is up, guys? It's Fernando back with another video. Today we have my WWE Raw recap and review for the July 13th episode. We had an okay episode. It started off hot, and in the middle it kind of got real stale, a little bit boring, kind of the stuff on repeat. And at the end, we finished off with a heater of a segment. So let's get into it. First, we start off with Brock and Paul Heyman come to the ring, and Paul Heyman basically just cuts a promo, pretty much Obafemi, saying that it's weird that he's obsessed with Brock Lesnar, that Oba is a dummy. He keeps reiterating that Oba is a dummy for turning down a title opportunity at SummerSlam for winning King of the Ring, and instead going after Brock Lesnar, and that he then goes on to say that Brock Lesnar is obsessed with Obafemi, which is scary, and it's going to be bad for Obafemi, which I thought was weird because you just say that Oba is obsessed with Brock, and that's weird. But Brock being obsessed with Oba is different. I don't know. But anyways, there's police officers there, and eventually Oba comes to the ring, absolutely wipes out all the police officers, and cuts a promo on Brock saying that in Hell in a Cell he can't run, pretty much. So that wasn't too much to this segment. Obviously, again, this is just building up hype for the Obafemi and Brock Lesnar matchup. And overall, I thought, like I said, it was weird. We have Paul Heyman just pretty much calling Oba a dummy, and then saying that he's weird for being obsessed with Brock Lesnar after Brock Lesnar low blowed him, attacks him from behind, and that's what Oba was saying, that he can't do any of that. He's not going to be able to do any of that in Hell in a Cell. So again, like, not too much to get here, but these Texas crowds, every time WWE goes to Texas, are absolutely electric. They made this moment. They're chanting for Oba. They're booing the police officers. They were getting hyped for when Oba was going off on the mic. Again, like I said, nothing too crazy. It was just a plot for Paul Heyman to play mind games with Obafemi, and it made Obafemi just look completely unfazed by everything. So overall, I would have to give it a thumbs up. This was just so they could advertise Brock Lesnar and obviously get Oba on the show. So, like I said, all right to start the show. When we get to, shockingly, I thought probably the best match of the night, or almost tied for best match of the night. We have Io Sky versus Roxanne. These two went at it for just no reason at all. Io Sky and Roxanne, they obliterate each other on the apron. Roxanne's targeting the knee. Io Sky is able to roll up Roxanne Perez after a few distractions from Raquel and Liv Morgan, who are on the outside. Sol Ruca comes to make the save, and Raquel Rodriguez absolutely destroys Sol Ruca. She throws her into the barricade and then absolutely launches her into the ring post, and then drops her dead carcass on the floor with a huge, big thump. And then they continue their attack on Io Sky. Now, with the match and all the post-match shenanigans that went on, this was a really entertaining segment. They looked real. It looked real physical, start to finish. It looked great. The only downside I would have to say is, WWE needs to do away with a person in a feud with someone else and just taking out their faction, just feuding with their faction, and just having matches with the champion's faction. It just doesn't really build the hype. Yes, I get it's a match to fill the show. It's something that WWE's been using for a long time. But I want to see Liv Morgan and Io Sky somewhat cut a promo or try to do something of substance, and not just have a rivalry going into SummerSlam just for the sake of a rivalry, just for the sake of violence, just for the sake of the physical altercation, which is pretty much what we're getting here. Is we're just pretty much going to have Io Sky. She's gone head to head with Raquel in the past few weeks. With Liv Morgan, they constantly do attacks on her, or have like the match here with Roxanne Perez. It just doesn't have a storyline to really get attached to. I'm not going to complain too much. That's just real nitpicky, just because this match was so good, and the whole segment was entertaining, getting your Intercontinental Champion Sol Ruca involved in this as well. But overall, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Like I said, it was the best. It was one of the best matches of the night. These two put on a heater for, just, like I said, absolutely no reason. So, great way to start the show. But then from here on, it goes downhill. We have a Vision segment. They basically come out, and immediately Alpha Academy, Akira Tozawa and Otis come to the ring. And Maxine's trying to like make amends with him. Basically, she's faking it the whole time, and it ends up with the Vision just essentially booing, or the Vision, essentially bullying, not booing, bullying Alpha Academy, calling Otis fat, basically calling them losers and saying that Maxine wants nothing to do with them. And then they attack. They attack old Alpha Academy. Like, what the hell are we doing here? This was dumb. Eventually, Alpha Academy's getting the upper hand. Braun Breaker takes him out, and Maxine goes in for a kiss on Otis, which is just a plot and a distraction for Austin Theory to hit a low blow. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. This was some really good acting. And if the sole purpose of this was to get boos on Austin Theory, you finally got it. The crowd actually booed Austin Theory. They actually gave a reaction to the Vision without Paul Heyman. And it is due to Maxine doing somewhat of good work. But overall, nobody gives a fuck. Like, nobody cares. At the end of the day, where is this going to go? I mean, the Vision is a complete lost cause. Later on in the show, they had Paul Heyman basically walk out on him saying that he don't want nothing to do with him anymore. Like, he said Maxine did such a good job that why does the Vision need me? This has completely fallen apart, and the fall off of Braun Breaker is crazy. You go from spearing Roman Reigns after a WrestleMania to challenging CM Punk for a world title to getting a great rivalry with Seth Rollins and in a great steel cage match to now bullying Alpha Academy with Austin Theory and Logan Paul. There's just nobody cares. There's nowhere to go from here. The Vision has completely lost all steam, and it's bringing Braun Breaker down with them. Obviously, Logan Paul's injured. I think he could help out slightly, but I think eventually he's going to end up leaving because once he gets healthy, which is going to be a while because he had a pretty serious tricep injury, he can move on to bigger and better things and just leave them in the dust. And this whole Maxine turning heel thing is just irrelevant and gone. Like, nobody cares. So for the acting and how they were able to tell this, it was a thumbs up. But for the overall, nobody's gonna give a shit. Nobody's gonna give a shit. Yes, it made the people boo. It made them feel sorry and sympathetic for Otis and Tozawa, but genuinely nobody cares. Then we get to a random match between Jimmy Uso and Royce Keys. We did this on SmackDown. SmackDown's god fucking awful. So yeah, let's just put it on Raw too. Let's just put it on Raw. What are we doing here? Like, the bloodline shit is just completely pathetic. It's Roman Reigns is the top dog, and then a group of people has to build a faction to feud with the bloodline, and it's just horrendous. I mean, nobody gives a damn. And the stuff that this has done to Jacob Fatu, he looks like I'm sorry, Jacob Fatu sucks. Like, what do we? He's a bum. He's a bitch. He's a background player now. Jacob Fatu looks complete. This has done the worst for Jacob Fatu. But in the end, we have them attack pretty much Royce Keys and Solo Sikoa. LA Knight comes for the save with a steel chair, and he takes him out, and he announces that it's going to be a 3v3 tag team match at SummerSlam with LA Knight, Royce Keys, Solo Sikoa versus the Usos and Jacob Fatu. I mean, everyone could have seen this coming a mile away. I have horrible goddamn vision, and I could see this fucking coming a mile away. This was... I'm glad that we're getting LA Knight doing something, but this is not the thing anyone wants him to do. Like, this is just ridiculous. Solo Sikoa made a few funny moments in this where he was acknowledging them and then ended up spiking Jimmy Uso. Overall, I lost interest in this a while back, even though the great work LA Knight is doing, and I didn't care about it on SmackDown, so I'm not going to care about it on Raw. We get a Bayley and Lyra segment where Lyra looks just completely insane. She looks like she hasn't slept in 40 days. She looks like a mess. She goes in on Bayley and then attacks her. Nothing special. WWE, y'all better do something with this, otherwise people are just going to forget about it. You can't just turn someone heel, forget about for a few weeks, and then revisit the story a couple weeks later, and no one's going to give a shit, especially something like this that doesn't have the people behind it and the hype behind it. They either have to do something with this or not, because this could be a disaster waiting to happen. And then we have the Intercontinental number one contender gauntlet match. It starts off with Dom and Joe Henry. This match is kind of boring. JD distracts Joe Henry. Dom 619 picks up the win. And then Dom versus Javon Evans. Again, JD tries to distract him. And then we hear, haha, that laugh. And Danhausen comes to the ring and attempts to curse Dominic Mysterio. As soon as I heard Danhausen's music, I just start dying. I don't know what it is about his music. Just because I know who I just start immediately losing my mind because he's so damn funny. He goes to curse Dominic Mysterio. The firework goes off in the wrong corner, creates a distraction, and Javon Evans is able to hit an OG cutter on Dominic Mysterio. Then we get the Javon Evans versus Dragon Lee as his next opponent. This was they cooked from the jump. These two were electric. We have like this hip toss where Javon launches Dragon Lee into like the ring bell area, does his dive over the ring bell area, a nasty DDT, Hurricane Rana to the outside, a nice fake finish, and then Javon ends up rolling up Dragon Lee. And then Javon gets into a match with Rusev. Rusev kind of does his normal bad guy shtick, ends up passing out Javon Evans with the accolade. Gable comes in and eventually rolls up Rusev. And then Gable and Ethan Page are the final match where there was a nasty counter where Gable's on the top rope with Ethan Page. Ethan Page is looking for like a slam. It counters it into an ankle lock. Ethan Page attempts to roll, and Chad Gable just completely rolls with him. So ends up submitting Ethan Page to be the number one contender at SummerSlam. Overall, the match started off slow. It really hit its peak in the middle. But we get the winner of Chad Gable, and he's going to face, obviously, like I said, Penta at SummerSlam, which is what we all wanted. This was the best way to do it, and I thought that a gauntlet match was smart. I mean, this is something that we don't see too often. You can literally grab every single number one contender in the mid-card title scene and put them into a match and say, you know what, go wrestle, have some decent wrestling matches within the 7 matches, and boom, we get a number one contender, and they picked the right guy in Chad Gable. He's going to go on after his full run in AAA Lucha Libre. He got unmasked, and the whole thing started with him and Penta. For it to culminate here at SummerSlam is great, especially with him as a babyface. And I told you guys, I told everyone that this Chad Gable character is going to get over. And after the match, maybe it was just because it was in Texas and these crowds are amazing, everyone was doing the little Gable clap and cheering the hell out of Gable. And eventually Penta comes in the ring, they shake hands, and we're going to get that match. And I'm super excited for him. Hopefully WWE gives them the time and lets these two masterful in-ring workers work and have please give them like 15 to 20 minutes and really be able to tell a full story in their match, because I doubt that they're going to get too much TV time going like promo for promo or having that much of a build on Raw. I think this is kind of a match just to throw on SummerSlam because they know it'll be good. So hopefully they give them the runway to do that. So I am super excited for that. This is exactly what I think everyone wanted, and I think this is who everyone wanted Penta to face at SummerSlam. So I'm gonna give this a double thumbs up. The match was overall some slow spots, some fun spots, and the decision just made up for it. Like I said, great. And then we finally get to the Roman versus Seth contract signing. Roman comes to the ring, signs the contract. Seth comes to the ring, signs the contract, and Seth is kind of like pushing Roman off, not really giving a damn. Signs the contract, says that he'll see Roman the next time he shows up at work, and then Roman really goes into Seth. He goes on to say that what's going to happen if he does beat him. Is he going to get injured when he gets that title? That his daddy is Triple H, that he's done all the decisions for Seth Rollins, that Seth has always been number 2 to Roman Reigns, and he really goes into him and digs into Seth, and then Seth basically just comes back and saying that he's proud of who he is, he's proud of what he's been fighting for, and that he's gonna beat Roman Reigns, that he's always beat Roman Reigns. From what I got from Seth's portion of the promo was that he's proud that he's had to work hard. He's proud that he's had to do all these matches, and he's proud that he's gone through these injuries, that he hasn't taken time off, that he's carried the WWE for many, many years while Roman's just sitting on the side. He's proud to be that. He'd rather be Seth Rollins than Roman Reigns, and that I don't think most people really understood that, or that's how I interpreted it. But I don't know if anyone else interpreted it by that. People just saw the burns, the corny ass lines that Roman was taking shots at Seth Rollins. For someone who doesn't wrestle or wrestles once every 4 fucking months, that's probably why you don't get injured. And I'm just gonna say it. If you have 10 years of failures and 8 main events that no one wants to see, then none of that shit matters. I cannot stand that people really believe this Roman Reigns hype, this facade, that he is the greatest ever. And Seth's line, he didn't directly take shots at Roman Reigns. He was just saying that he's proud to be himself, which I really thought was great. And this whole segment cooked. Yes, Roman Reigns, his shots were good, and they got the crowd involved, and Seth coming back. But then in the end, it ends with Seth getting the upper hand. He punches Roman. Roman counters him with the Superman punch, but Seth's able to hit him with the microphone and hit a stomp on him and stand tall at the end of the show. I thought that was brilliant. They're really portraying this scenario that Roman Reigns is kind of brushing him off, and that Seth is number 2, but Seth has always been able to beat Roman Reigns, and that's what they're really going off of, is that Roman cannot beat Seth Rollins, which inevitably I think is gonna lead to the SummerSlam where Roman's gonna win. But like I said, a great way to end the show. Absolute heater. The contract signing, the promos. See, this is what you do. You give your best talent time in the ring, one-on-one, face-to-face, and you let them talk their shit. You let them talk their shit, and you can get greatness like that. You can get hype like that, and then after they talk their shit, then they can fight. Then they can do their little war, or where people have to come in and break it up. Then you can do that. I don't know why WWE has been so off and not letting people do that, but they let them do it here, and look what it gave us. It gave us a great show. So, like I said, in the end, it started off good. In the middle, it kind of slowed down. It picked up in the middle of the gauntlet match, and it ended with a heater here. So, I will be back. I might be doing a Saturday night main event prediction. That card is mid as hell. I completely forgot that there even was a Saturday night's main event this week. And then SmackDown is an absolute shit show. I know you haven't been able to see my comments on that, but that title scene and that booking is fucking atrocious as well. That is the worst thing I've ever seen. No one gives a damn about that shit. They did Sammy dirty, but anyways, I will see y'all next time. Have a good one.